Hey, everybody. What I want to talk about tonight is the folly and the error of being good. A lot of people think that, there's this perception in the world that being good is this great thing when it's really not. Now, hear me out. In order to be good, you can't consider yourself as good. Now, we're going to get into how good and bad is nothing but duality and ego to begin with. That's not a spiritual thing, okay? Good and evil is not a spiritual thing. Why do you think in your religions, like even in the Bible, it tells you God created both good and evil? Both of these things he created. So why would he create both good and evil? Because from a spiritual place and from behind the veil, there is no good and evil. Okay, it's oneness. It's just I am that I am. Okay, so there is not this duality that is of the world. Okay, so that's the reason. Because how can God be good but create evil? He wouldn't want to create evil, right? Well, this is the thing. Being good, you can't be one without the other. So the people who think they're the most good are filled with a lot of bad. People who think that they're so bad have a lot of good. Okay, so a person who thinks that they're so good, what they don't realize is they can only be good in comparison to someone else. See, they can't see themselves as good without judging others as being bad. See, because I'm good in comparison to what? Those evil people, those bad people, those horrible people, those wicked souls. I'm good compared to the people who do this and the people who do. So you have to judge them as bad in order for you to even see yourself as good. You can't just see yourself as good. Okay, there has to be the subconscious judgment and judging of other people first. So you have to, be better than somebody else. You can't, because good is better, right? So how can you be better without comparison? Well, we have to understand comparison is of the ego. Okay, it's not spiritual. Okay, so that's not a spiritual thing. So when we take these earthly things and we try to make them spiritual, we just don't realize what we're doing. And just like a person, how can a person who is bad be good? Because a person who does something bad can be actually serving the soul of another person. So then that's good, right? Some of the people doing bad end up doing the greatest good. As far as if you were to look at it from spiritual eyes, not from physical ego, duality eyes of good and bad and all of that. Because let me show you something. A person who thinks that they're so good, the problem with that is they can't see how bad they really are. This is why I tell people all the time. I say, I'm not afraid of people. I'm less afraid of so-called bad or evil people than I would be of a person who really, truly thinks that they're so good. You know why? Because the person who truly thinks that they're just so good has no clue of what is in them. This is going to be the person who what is in them surprises them. So this is going to be the person who gets in a situation, something triggers the bad that's already in them, the evil that's already in them. And then it comes up and they commit a heinous crime, right? They commit a murder and they're sitting in jail like, I don't know how I did that. I don't know what came over me. And then you'll have their family like, it didn't seem like this type of person. I just can't believe that they did this. This is because they don't know themselves. Because they're too busy judging other people to even look and see what's going on in them. And they blame other people for their evil ways. How do they do that? Well, how many times do you see so-called good people that when someone does something or if that someone that they judge as bad, someone hurts them, which could be something that's good for their soul. But what are they going to say? this person is bad. And I've even seen them go as far as say, because I've heard so-called empaths talk about how narcissists should be shot and killed. They all need to be just lined up in the street and shot because, because in their mind, these are bad people who are going around hurting other people, right? But then they'll say all that talk that they had was nothing but a murderous spirit, right? But they'll say, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a murderous person. What they did and the pain they caused me made me that way. No. You're that way because you're that way. That is in you. That's why somebody else, the same thing can happen to them and they won't have a murderous spirit about it. They won't think the things that you're thinking. Why? Because that's not in them. You're thinking murderous thoughts and you have that perception because you have a murderous spirit, but you don't know what's in you because of this programming that keeps people from seeing the truth. Everything is split into these categories based on beliefs and judgments and all this physical worldly stuff that has nothing to do with what's really going on behind the veil and what the truth of the person is. Okay, so this whole thing about good and, this perception is faulty. When people think God is good, no, he wouldn't be. But he wouldn't be bad either. He would just be. I am. See, the key is just knowing what you are. And that is where you have, the best in life is being able to see the truth of yourself and just letting things be. All of this, ego judgment, because the ego is always in comparison, either better than other people. And then there's another way that the ego operates in being worse than other people. Neither one of those are true. If you're sitting around thinking that you're worse than everybody else and everybody else is so much better than you, that's ego too. And that's not the truth. You can't see the whole picture of how other people are really no different than you. They may hide things better. You can't even think about the fact that you can't really see into people's lives in that way to be able to really judge how much better they are than you. Some of the people that seem like they're so much better than you have a bunch of stuff going on that you can't see. So see how if you were clear-minded or you were in the spirit rather than in the ego, you wouldn't be making that comparison. And it's the same way with being better or being good. You would know the things that you don't know when you're in your ego. You will see the things that you don't see when you're in your ego. So the key is looking within the self. Know thyself. Every single aspect of you. And there is no good or bad. Don't divide it up. Don't hate certain parts of it. Know thyself. A lot of things will heal just from being recognized and embraced and known. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there, guys. And like I said, my work is out to help you do that. That's what my work is about. It's helping you to navigate the inner realm. Okay, my work is specifically set up in a way that it is going to get your soul where you need to be. Okay, you will experience change from it. It's not going to be just talking and, nothing that you can't feel a difference in your life. It's going to bring about change. It's going to bring about healing. Okay, so check out the boot camps and things like that, or do soul healing sessions or coaching with me. Okay. So that's that, guys. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.